Young Turks now has audio, the TYT Audio Network, podcasts of some of your favorite shows and new shows, including one with Nina Turner, former Ohio State Senator. She's going to do We the People with Nina Turner, talking about equality and justice and seeing that through the eyes of regular Americans who are affected by politics and policy. Everybody check it out at tyt.com/audio.
A Maryland gubernatorial candidate has decided to air one of his political ads on Fox and Friends in an effort to upset conservatives and Donald Trump specifically. Now, this gubernatorial candidate is gay, and so he wanted to really put that out in the open in this ad. By the way, just to give you an idea of what the White House's stance is on the gay community, the LGBT community. The White House has refused to acknowledge Pride Month for a second year in a row, and Trump did try to implement a transgender ban in the military. He tried to do that twice. The first attempt was shot down in the courts. Now, with that said, let's take a look at the political ad that I'm speaking about.
I'm Rich Madaleno. I'm running for governor to deliver progressive results and to stand up to Donald Trump. Here are a few of the things I've done that already infuriate him. I protected Planned Parenthood from the Republicans in Congress.
Take that, Trump.
I helped ban assault weapons in Maryland.
Take that, NRA.
I believe in public schools, not vouchers.
Take that, Trump. And Betsy DeVos. Yeah!
And what's the number one way I piss off Donald Trump and the Republicans? Take that, Trump.
I like it.
I don't know what to do with that ad.
You know what?
Interesting.
In comparison to all these awful local ads that we saw where people were really throwing dirt on each other and going in on each other, even though he was speaking directly to Trump and what he stood against as opposed to just slinging mud, it didn't feel hateful.
It didn't feel hateful. And I love that he paid to have this air during Fox and Friends, which of course Trump was watching. I mean, there is a 90% chance he was watching that.
That's all he watches, right? And Twitter. But yeah, I think it's good, you know, free love, etc. I'm all for it because, you know, wear your voice, and we're all about intersectional feminism. But I think something that we maybe are missing is that, you know, 2017 saw the highest death of amongst trans people, and it was the highest, and the highest majority were Black trans women. So as much as this is lovely, him coming together with his partner and having a lovely cuddling kiss, we're not really getting to the deeper issues at all. And I think it sort of misses the point. I feel it's very pretty and it's lovely and happy and there's some kids and take that Trump, but it's not really going as hard as I think it potentially could.
Right. Well, I think you're right, but you also have to consider that it's an ad, and it was an attempt to kind of get his name out there. I think more than anything, it was a little gimmicky.
Yeah.
That was the thing that turned me off about it. But I like the whole notion of upsetting conservatives and Trump specifically. So I enjoyed that. Look, that gubernatorial race is very interesting. He is in 4th place at the moment. I love Ben Jealous, so I'm supportive of Ben Jealous as the gubernatorial candidate. But with that said, you know, this candidate obviously appears to be in the right state of mind, at least.
To put it, so this candidate is trying to get more awareness toward his name, of course. Ben Jealous, among people who are running in this Democratic primary, Ben Jealous is in the lead, but he's still running second to people who have no opinion. So it's something, I wrote it down, 39% of the electorate has no opinion. Ben Jealous has 21% of, so he's losing by 18% to people who haven't made up their minds. That's who Magdalena's trying to get to pay attention. But yeah, he did this, but Dave Chappelle just stumped for Ben Jealous today, so they're back and forth in terms of people bringing attention. But yeah, I just saw that earlier.
Ben Jealous has been fighting for civil rights for a very long time. He is definitely a progressive candidate. I'm impressed with him. I think, no, I'm not gonna say, never mind.
The number 2 person is more establishment backing in the gubernatorial race over there in Maryland. But I would this is a move you do when you need people to know your name. It is the same move that Brian Kemp, that guy in the Georgia governor's race, when he's like, I'm such a conservative, I did this. It's just I happen to agree with Madaleno more.
People on the left are so much better.
It's cuter.
Their ads are so much better.
It's a much cuter, but I wasn't really mad at the guy who there was
What,
a
the
certain,
deportation bus guy? Or
No, that one, yes, I disagree
who spelled
with him.
molesters wrong on his bus?
I disagree, obviously, with the things he was saying in his concrete details and his persuasive paragraph of why you should vote for him. I will say they're both I piss off the other side so
That's
much,
true.
and the other guy just happens to not have a deep South accent.
But think about the differences between the parties, right? I mean, with Democrats, or at least those on the left, the argument is I'm going to really upset the other side by kissing the person I love, right?
Yeah.
And then on the right, you have, look here, I got my deportation bus. And then, the shot, I'm more conservative than the other guy. And he's sitting there pointing a rifle at his girlfriend, at his daughter's boyfriend with all this weaponry behind him.
So
it's
hilarious.
violence, violence, violence. Vote for me, I'm more violent. And with those on the left, it's
And the music behind was
I know, right?
Hey kids.
I'm sorry, that nothing
Smiling
tops
shit.
Ted Cruz cooking bacon with his gun.
oh my God, I forgot about that.
Follow the Young Turks by hitting the subscribe button below or get our new app. Wonderful download at the App Store, TYT Plus. Go.